Today I'm going to be making some fan earrings with some glass pearls. Hi, welcome back my YouTube friends. It's nice to see you. If you're new here, my name's Carol, and on this channel I show you how easy it is to make your own jewellery. So I'm going to make some fan earrings, as I said, using some glass pearls. Let me walk you step by step through the process and talk about everything you'll need to make these earrings. What I've got in front of me is 12 of these beautiful 6mm glass pearls. And the colour here is called rose silver, and it is kind of a purpley silvery colour. I have some chain. This is a 5mm flat oval cable chain, and I've got about 12 centimetres of that. I have a pair of ear hooks. I have some 20 gauge wire, and this is a half hard wire. I have two 6mm jump rings, and I've got 8 eye pins, and these ones are 5 centimetres long. As well as that, I'm going to be using a ruler with centimetres on it, and I am going to be using a fine tip marker. In terms of other tools, I'm going to be using my flush cutters. I'm going to be using my 1.5mm one-step looper. Now if you haven't got a one-step looper, that's okay, you will just use round nose pliers instead. As well as that, I have here 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, and I may be using my nylon jawed pliers, and these are really useful to straighten wire. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten and measure my eye pins. So I'm going to take this one. Now when you buy eye pins, they often come bent, same with head pins. That's okay. You can usually straighten them with your hand, or you can use the nylon jawed pliers and just pull the wire through the jaws of the pliers like that, and it straightens that for you. So for this particular pair of earrings, I need them to be nice and straight. So I'm going to do them one at a time. So I'll do 4. Just making sure they're nice and straight. Now sometimes when you hold your eye pin like that, you can actually get quite a sore finger. So you can either hold it with your pliers, or you can hold it with a cloth. Just be careful if you're holding it with the pliers not to bend it. You can see there I've bent the top of mine, so I'm going to just give it a bit of a flatten out with the pliers. And one more. Okay, I'll move those ones out of the way, and these are the ones I'm going to be using right now. The first thing I'm going to do is measure my eye pins. So I'm going to lay my eye pin on my ruler with the bottom of the loop at the 0, and I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to measure 2.5 centimetres and make a mark. Now what I'm going to do is use my one-step looper to make a loop. There's the mark there, hope you can see it. And I'm going to put my wire through the jaws of the one-step looper, and I'm just lining this jaw here up with my mark there. Now if you haven't used a one-step looper before, I will leave you a link in the description box below. Favourite tool. Almost anyway. I have lots of favourite tools. All jewellery tools are amazing. Alright, so I'm going to just squeeze and cut that loop at the same time. And there you have a nice straight piece of wire with a loop on each end. Now this loop is slightly larger than this one, but that's okay. I actually wanted it that way. So I'm going to repeat that 3 more times, and then we will be able to start assembling the earrings. Okay, now I have 4 pieces of wire with a loop on each end, and what I'm going to do is just take my chain nose pliers, both pairs, and just make sure that the loops are facing the same way. And I'm going to do that by holding 1 loop in each pair of pliers and just making sure that they line up. These ones are all pretty good, so not too much of an issue here. So what you want to do next is lie them down on your board or on your table so that all of the larger loops are on one side and the smaller ones are on the other, just so that you don't mix them up. Next, we're going to make a loop in a piece of 20 gauge wire. So I'm just going to cut a piece. It doesn't need to be very long. This piece is about 8 centimeters, and I'm going to use my one-step looper to make a loop in one end. Just straightening it out with my fingers a little bit. Okay, so there's my loop, and I'm going to just use my pliers to make sure that it's closed properly. There we go. Now if you haven't made loops before, as I said, I will leave you a link in the description box below to a video that you can watch. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put on one of my beads, and then I'm going to put on one of the large loops. Now, if you have a look at your loops, you'll see that this is the side that opens. So I want them all to be the same way. It doesn't matter which way they go on, as long as they all go the same way. Then another bead. And once again, another loop. And you want to do this until you've got 5 beads on there. So you're beginning and finishing with a bead. That's what I have now. And I'm going to use my one-step looper to make another loop in the other end. And I just want to make sure it's closed because it's not quite closed. So that's what I have now. You can see where I'm going with this. All right, what we're going to do next is we're going to add the chain onto the ends. Now I've actually already cut my chain. Now I actually, rather than cutting the chain to measure, what I did was I counted the loops or the links. So if we have a look here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 links, and I have 2 pieces. I've cut 2 pieces exactly the same. It just means that it's more accurate than measuring. Well, for me it is anyway. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of chain onto each loop on the end here. I know I just spent some time closing that loop, but I wanted to get it the right shape, and that was why I did that. Alright, before you do that, it might be a good idea just to check that the loops are both going the same way on this piece of wire as well. So just grabbing it there and just giving it a little bit of a twist to make sure that they're both going the right way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my loop just by holding it on the side there, supporting the beads with my thumb and my forefinger and twisting down with my finger, and I'm going to place the end link of the chain onto the loop. Now I'm going to close it up, and I'm doing that just by reversing that process. So that's what I have now. And I'm going to put another piece on this end. Alright, now what we're going to do is feed all of that onto a jump ring. Now I've just realised that one of these loops isn't quite closed, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a wiggle there just to make sure it's closed. and I'll check the rest while I'm here. Okay, taking one of my jump rings, this one's already open, and what I'm going to do is feed on the top link or the end link of my chain, and then in order I'm going to feed on my loops. Now this one won't go on, and there's a reason for that. If you can't get them on, then all you need to do is just give your wire here a little bit of a curve until it will go on. Right, so I have my chain and my 4 eye pins or loops on, and now I'm going to put the other end of my chain on as well. You might need to move your jump ring back a bit to get it on. Right, and now I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and close up my loop. Now there's a lot in there, so just do it as best you can. Try not to deform the ring at all. There we go. That's what I have now. Now I'm going to make a little component to go on the top here. I'm going to take some of my wire and I'm going to make a loop in one end. Then I'm just going to cut a little piece off. Could have cut it before, and I'm going to put one bead on, and then I'm going to make a loop in the other end. Just make sure it's closed, and once again I'm going to make sure my loops are going the same way. So there's that component. Now I'm going to join this to the top of my earring here. Now I'm not going to open my jump ring because I've got a lot in it and I had a hard time getting it closed. So what I'm going to do is open the loop on the bottom of this component. Pop on the jump ring and close it up. And all that's left to do now is to put the ear wire on. And I'm just going to take my ear wire. Now with an ear hook like this one, this is a twist ear hook. This side opens, the inside, so I've got it held in my pliers here, and I'm just supporting the rest of the ear hook between my thumb and my forefinger and holding it on the side with the pliers, and then I'm just going to twist my hand down to open the loop, pop on that loop I've already made and close it. Now you do want to make sure that your ear hook loop is really, really well closed. So there's my one earring. And to make things quicker, I've already made my other one. Now what you want to do with your earrings is just make sure that the curve in the bottom of them is quite similar. And I think mine is. I think it's okay. Maybe this one needs a little bit more of a curve. So I might just give it a little bit of a manipulation there to make sure that it's sitting right, which they look pretty good together. So there you go, a pair of pearl fan earrings. And the cool thing about this is they look really difficult to make, but they're actually quite easy, and I'm all up for that. I love things that look way more complex than they are. Now I also made a pair of earrings, of these earrings with some acrylic rainbow beads for my daughter. She saw the earrings and she said, can you make me some rainbow ones? So I did. And these ones are they're just a little bit more fun than the sophisticated pearls. So a couple of options for you there. I hope you've enjoyed this. It was really great to have you along. If you like this video, remember to subscribe to my channel and like the video, and of course ring the bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. You'll never miss a thing. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. It was lovely having you along today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.